So after that, let's see, I ran out and I went to a friend's house. Uh, she's pretty much into like the whole Bible thing. So I ran there and I told her what was happening and what I've seen and what I experienced, and she told me at that point that you have to go back and fight because the devil is laughing at you, she said, and you can't let him uh, overtake your house. So, uh, so I cried. uh, I actually put my shirt over my head, and uh, balled up in the corner of the porch and like just cried because knowing that it's real now, and someone's telling you to go back and fight. Fight who, how, with what? So I don't know. So cried some more, um, but she convinced me that to go back. So somehow, I don't know. Somehow I drove back home, and I went in. The same thing. They just wish, and this time I walked in, and it was like you know here's my arm standing up, and the vibrations. You can feel the different beings, just each individual. But by then, it wasn't as many as when I first experienced the day before. I can tell it was only 7. So I go in, uh, uh, and I just started to experience what I experienced. I don't know. What do you do? So I mean, what I did, I just sat in the corner and I didn't move. And that's kind of how I spent my summer, like in the corner on a chair all night, never sleeping. Uh, I ate outside. When I did eat, I ate outside. I think I managed to take a few showers. Um, I couldn't cook in the kitchen. Um, I couldn't. I definitely couldn't sleep. Uh, I couldn't watch TV. I couldn't work out. I had my machine in the basement, a T-shirt printing machine. I couldn't print. I couldn't print because that was in the basement. Couldn't do anything inside the house. I mean, I could, but how can you do anything when it's just all the time. All the time here, all the time. Like the vibrations. How do you even concentrate? It's like kind of maddening. So after, I'd say about a month, maybe a month, I got this idea to like pick up the Bible that I read that I got from the flea market. I got the Bible. Um, Maybe read a few verses, but didn't seem to work at first. I called around a few people and asked them what's going on, what did they think. Um, a buddy of mine, a Jamaican guy, he's called his mom in Jamaica, and she said, tell that boy to take that Bible and go to the river and turn backwards and take the Bible and throw it behind him because demons can't cross water and that Bible is cursed. So I did it. I mean, I did it because I was desperate. I drove to the Schuylkill and I turned backwards and took the Bible and threw it backwards, but it didn't go in the water. It kind of landed on the right before the water. Didn't do a good job. But so I went back. Still, they were there. Still nothing. Um, so over time, I got to know what each one was doing. So I had the big one, demon. Demons now. We can call them demons. Big demon in the my front porch area. He stood there, or it stood there. Had two childlike demons that chase each other through the house, like back and forth. They chase in the kitchen, like children, just running back and forth, running back all night and all day, just back and forth, back and forth. And I would just sit there and just watch them run back and forth, just back and forth, back and forth. So my kitchen was covered, my front porch was covered. My dining room had one in the corner that was covered. Had one that went from the basement to the hallway that was covered, and I guess from my bedroom to the bathroom was covered. So 7. So each part of my house was covered, and I couldn't do anything. I was just surrounded, and each, I guess, demon had its own job to stop my comfort, I guess, to stop me from living. Like I said, when I ate, I would eat out, go out, eat outside, and go back in, and fight another night, and that was my life for the whole summer. So, these good friends of mine, they had they finally came, and they decided to pray for me in the house. It was a couple, so they came in, and they came, and the woman, she walked in my house as if it was like nothing, and I was just so amazed that she walked in the basement, she walked upstairs, she walked in the kitchen, like with no fear, and here I am, like sitting in the corner, full of fear and full of like anxiety, and here this woman can like walk through my house like it was nothing, and I was just so blown away by that. Still blown away because someone say they seen demons, and they're either losing their mind, or they're or they're being serious, or or either case, who walks in the house and does anything. But I couldn't find any help. No, I had no pastor, no preacher. I went to the Catholic Church and just couldn't find any help from anybody. Like no help. I just couldn't find no help. So they came and they prayed for me in the kitchen. A good friend of mine, he got some olive oil and prayed over the oil, and put the oil on my head, and and they prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed, and it was all good. It's all good. It was all good. But they had to go home. It was getting late, and it was time for them to go home. And I was like, I'm in trouble now, because these things are gonna kick my ass when they leave. So I was just terrified. So of them leaving. So eventually they left, and I waved, goodbye. All right, see you guys. But I stood by the door, and when they left, I left. And when they turned the corner, I didn't want them to think I was like scared. But when they turned the corner, I went to my car. But the funny thing that happened when I left to go to my car, 3 came out with me. 3 of the demons came out the house with me. For the first time, 3 came out. 1 kind of got in my car with me, and 2 stayed on the up and down the block. And that was scary, but at the same time amazing to me that they, like, 3 left. So anyway, 1 was in my car, 2 was on the block. I drove, around for a minute with the 1 in my car. Um, so then after a few hours, I went back home. And when I went back home, the one that's kind of stayed with me as I went into the house. But the 2 that were outside the house wouldn't come back in. And I think that's when I realized something about that prayer did something. So it left me, 5 in the house and 2 outside. So I went from 7 in the house to now only 5 in the house. So after a few more days, that 5 turned into, let's say 4, then 3, then 2, then I was left with 1, and that 1 was left, like, for me to handle on my own. So that's a part of the story. So I guess maybe part 2. All right, peace.